Brightwood friends. Today we are in the office because I'm going to teach you how to make a friendship bracelet. I got all my string. Look at all, I got all this string, and I got all this string. I've got a lot of string. And I'm going to show you how to make a really easy bracelet and then a more advanced bracelet. But if you know how to make the easy bracelet, you can make almost any bracelet out there. So I'm going to teach you the basics, and we're going to get braiding. Is it braiding if it's not a braid? We're going to get braceleting. Okay, so I'm on my own, and I'm going to have to figure out how to put the camera so that you can see what I'm doing eventually. But for now, I got all this string in front, but I actually already picked out some colors. I picked out these colors for our first bracelet because these are the color of Goofy, like from Disney. This is his hat and his shirt and his pants. So we're gonna make a Goofy bracelet because I think that would be really exciting. So the length of string that you're gonna need for a bracelet is about an arm's length per strand. Now, if you are, if I'm making a bracelet that's an arm's length, it's gonna fit probably an adult. If I was making one for a kid, I wouldn't need to do one that was quite my arm's length because kids have smaller arms, they usually have smaller wrists, etc. And then if you get so good at this that you start doing like really complex and hard ones, there are some that you might need really long string for, but those are like intense patterns that you find on the internet, and we're not going there. No way, we're not going there this week. So I'm gonna pick my green. This is my Goofy hat color. And so I'm gonna measure an arm's length right up to my, I don't know, the shoulder indent. And then I'm gonna cut it there. Now I'm gonna make this bracelet like really big. What I prefer to do sometimes is if you think that you need two strands of a color, it's actually really nice. You measure it, and then you hold that spot, and then you measure it again, and you cut, and then you'll just fold it in half. And this is really nice because then when you tie a knot, you're gonna have a loop here, which is going to make tying it on much easier. But sometimes you only need one strand, so you just cut one strand. So, okay, I've got 3 hat colors. All right, so there's the Goofy's pants, his pants color. Oh my gosh, you guys, it looks like Goofy. Here's, look, I got my pal Goofy here on my keys. Here he is. I broke one of his ears off a couple weeks ago. So he's a little hard of hearing now, but it's okay. We still like him because he's Goofy. Sometimes if you're not sure, you can add a little bit of extra. So like, if you measure to the shoulder and you're not feeling super confident, sometimes I'll go to this shoulder just to give just a little extra. Because having too much is fine. You just cut off the extra. But having too little, there's ways to fix it, but it can be difficult. And here's the last of it, so I'm going to use this. Okay. So now what I've done here is I've got all my colors, and can you see I laid them out here, and we're going to match up what's going to be the top. So here, like, I have the loop here. Okay. And again, like I said, some of these aren't loops, but that's fine. You're just going to match them all up at the top. The top, at the top, at the top. Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum. Oh my gosh, it looks like Goofy. Okay. I can't believe I've never thought about this before. Okay, so now I have them all here together. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie a knot at the top. So we're going to wrap it around our finger. Put it through. Honestly, I think that was hard to see, but I don't know how I can do it. And then it can be a big loop, a little loop. It really it really doesn't matter all that much. So now what we've got our string. And so we've got a loop at the top here, and then our string's going down, and I'm going to try to finagle some sort of situation where you can see me making my bracelet clearly. Okay, so here's what I came up with. I've got it here in a clipboard. Now, everyone knows when you're making bracelets, safety pins are a hot commodity. But they're very difficult to find. So when you come to camp, you should bring a safety pin. Or you get a friend. It's a friendship bracelet, so a friend can hold the top while you braid the bottom. But I have a clipboard because I'm a secretary. And here are my colors. So I've got all of these. So the first bracelet that is going to teach us to make every bracelet after that. When I was a kid, we called it the Chinese staircase. At the very least, I don't know why it's Chinese. Maybe it's where they did it first. I have no idea, but it looks like a staircase. What we're going to do, we're going to have a big clump here, and then we're going to have one thread of our own on its own. And this is the color that we want to be on the outside, to be shown. And so because it's Goofy, Goofy's hat is green, and because we're at the top, we're going to start with green. So you're going to take both, and you're going to make a 4, like this. And then you're going to take this string and put it through. Oh. Pull it through, and then you're going to pull it up. And make sure that it's tight. And then you're going to do it again. 4, through, and tight. 4, through, and tight. And now one thing about this, again, this is me. You can just pull it tight and it's still gonna make the stripe of that color. But, oh, this is hard with the clipboard. As you go around, it's gonna make, the knot is gonna naturally wanna make like a staircase and go around it. So I'll show you. So you can just pull up straight and it'll be fine, and that's where the knot will go. But I kinda like to follow where the knot will go, because I really enjoy the staircase effect. It has made me happy since I was a little girl, and a perfect staircase really does bring me joy. So I'm gonna keep going around here. Okay, so I went almost all the way around. So let's see if the camera will pick this up. You see how my knot, you see how it sticks out and it's going around almost like it's a spiral staircase? That's what I love. I love it when it does that in a bracelet. So you can, if you just were to pull up, it would often make just a straight line going down the front, which is pretty cool too. But the main purpose is just to get, look at that nice block of color. And I should have been counting. If you want it to be even, you should count your stitches. So now I have done 15 stitches. And I'm gonna switch colors. And switching colors is actually really easy. So I'm gonna go to an orange next, because Goofy's shirt is orange. And so I've picked out an orange string. And now my green just goes into this big old chunk now. And we start with the 4. And now we start with orange. And now one thing when you switch colors, I like to make sure that gap is all the way full. If it's not, it's still fine. But I like to make sure that the gap is really full. And now we're gonna go with orange for 15. Okay, so I finished my orange 15. And look at that, see, ooh, look at that staircase, it's still going. It's beautiful. And so now I'm gonna switch colors to blue for my pal Goofy's pants. So now blue again. Now this orange one, I've just put it back into the big old clump here. The orange is back in the clump, and I have my blue. And again, I'm just gonna make my 4. And I'm gonna make it really tight. There you go. And again, I'm gonna count to 15. Right, so I finished the Goofy bracelet. You see all those nice staircases going down. And then I tied it off and I trimmed the ends. So now we have a completed bracelet. So now, once you do this a few times and you practice and you get a nice staircase, you get good at doing the knot, you can move on to a more complex. But you just need to know how to do the knot. So I got some orange. I got lots of orange string, so got some orange string. So what we're gonna do is I separated them all. This is gonna be kind of tricky for me. Usually I like to do this over my lap or something, but I gotta stand up. Ugh. So I got all my strings separated, and you can put them in whatever order you want the stripes to be, okay? So I'm gonna take my first string and the string beside it, and I'm gonna make the 4, and I'm gonna do that knot, and I like to do it twice. I'm gonna do it twice. You can do it 1 time, you can do it 3 times, and then you put that string you tied around over here, and then you move on to the next string. Oh, got stuck. And you do it twice. So we're using the same string to go all the way across. All right, so I went all the way across all the colors. Doing my knot twice. Okay, it doesn't look so hot right now, but we gotta keep going. So now I'm gonna come back to this side and take what's on the far left now, and I'm gonna do it all over again. Make sure that you are doing your strings in the exact same order as last time. And also make sure you're tying these nice and tight. If you start seeing you might start seeing little holes and stuff, that's fine. I always tell people the whole point of friendship bracelets is that they look cool. So as long as they look cool, it doesn't really matter. If it's not perfect the first time and when you're practicing, that doesn't mean you just throw it in the garbage. It just means you give someone a very cool, unique bracelet. And I've been doing this, I think I learned when I was 6 or 7 years old. And tracker's old. So I've been doing this a long time, okay? Okay, so I've gone all the way. And then when you go across, this was the first one, we're gonna go around that one too. Go around, across the whole row. And so, it doesn't look like much when it started, but I'll do a little more and then I'll show you. Okay, so I've worked on it a bit. See, so now, where is it? There we go. We have this got these nice stripes happening. And you can kind of see all those little knots I've done. So just remembering, we're always starting at the far side with this one and making our way over, all the way over. This one kind of looks like fire. I like it. There we go. Another stripe. All right, so we're here for one last bracelet. I mean, there's a bajillion. If you just Google them, or I have a whole bunch saved on Pinterest, but these are the basics. First the staircase, then the stripe, and then the chevron, okay? So as you can see, I've got my strings all laid out here, and now what I have is they mirror each other. So I have white, then light purple, medium purple, dark purple. So they mirror each other. And again, we're gonna come at them. We're gonna start on the left side. And like I said, 2 knots on every string is what I prefer. and we're gonna make our way in. Make our way in. Okay, so we've reached the middle. So now we're gonna leave this one right where it lies. We're gonna take the one on the far right hand side and work our way into the middle this way. Now, but because we're going backwards, it's very important that you make a backwards 4 and pull through, because we're going in the opposite direction. So you have to make a backwards 4 and then, whoopsie, whoa, get out of here, and then pull. And keep working our way this time from right to left, doing our knots backwards. If you don't do your knots backwards, you'll find that it looks, one side will look one way and the other side will look another way, because you'll have what typically looks like the back of a bracelet at the front. So now that this one's reached the middle, both of these are in the middle now. It's the start, so it's hard to see. We're gonna, again, knot this one backwards. Twice. And then because they naturally, I like to switch them because that's just how they naturally fall. So I'll do a little more and then I'll show you what this will look like. Okay, so you can see here the nice chevron going on here. I don't quite have time to finish one today, but I'll show you how to end one. So if we were pretending that this is done, what I like to do is I like to braid the ends a little bit. And if you don't know how to braid, that's cool. You can Google it. And you don't have to braid the ends. I like to braid it a little. I like to braid it a little bit. And then tie a knot. And then you would trim it. If you don't know how to braid or you don't want to braid it, I do suggest that you tie a knot just to keep all this together. It'll help make it last longer. You just tie a knot, and then it's hard because of the clipboard. I try to get the knot as close to the end of the bracelet as possible, and then you trim it, and voila, a bracelet like this one. See, I braided it a little at the end, tied it in a knot, and now it's ready to go on a friend's wrist. There you go, Bracelets 101. First we got the staircase, then we got the stripe, and then we got the chevron. Now I don't have time to finish them all today, but you can get this string at Walmart or at the dollar store. Like, this is from the dollar store, friendship thread, and I think this is 36 skeins, and I think I paid $3 or $4 for it. And look at all the colors. And then, yeah, you get to be creative. You can make someone's favorite color, or the color of their favorite Disney character, or their favorite hockey team, or whatever. I'm a big fan, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a big fan of this whole ombre game here. I really like doing that. Or, you know, you could just make them all one color. There's lots of things that look really cool, and you just get to be creative. So I hope you have an opportunity to practice and make some bracelets for some friends.